Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. I'm Miley. I am so excited for this video. Let me just go into explaining what I am doing. I made 2 spin wheels on this app. One of them is Disney characters. I have 4 villains and 4 princesses. And then on the other spin wheel we have categories. We have different time periods. We have different TV shows. So what I am going to be doing is spinning the first wheel to find out what character I am going to be, and then I am going to spin the second wheel and find out what category I have to reimagine that Disney character as. Does that make sense? So it is now the moment of truth. It is time to spin these wheels. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I am very pleased with the character I got because she is by far one of my favorite villains. So now we have the category of what I'm going to do Yzma as. And 3, 2, 1, go. So much fun. So I'm going to take some time, do a little bit of research, and come up with a little bit of a game plan and design for Yzma as a 1950s character. So let's jump ahead to future Miley, shall we?
The next morning.
Hi guys, it's the next day. Woohoo! So I spent the night doing some research, coming up with a game plan, coming up with a design for Yzma as a 1950s character. So my research kind of went down a rabbit hole. I wasn't sure which way I wanted to take this look. When thinking of 1950s Yzma, I instantly thought of Eartha Kitt, the voice of Yzma. There was one look that was really close to Yzma's dress that Eartha wore, but I think the whole point is to rework the look. So I decided on a classic 1950s silhouette for the dress, fitted waist, poofy skirt. I did go ahead and order a few things right away so that they would get here ASAP. I found this Fascinator pillbox hat that really screamed Yzma to me because she is all about her headpieces. Then Yzma also has this feathered collared look in the beginning of the movie that reminded me of these cool giant feathered fans that Rosemary Clooney and Vera Ellen had in White Christmas. So I went and looked and I found a purple feathered fan online and ordered that as well. Back to this dress, a few things I wanted to add from Yzma's look is one of her dresses is a halter, so the dress I designed, I made it a halter. Secondly, Yzma's looks are pretty extreme and has some extreme accessories, so I wanted to add a cool angular belt to take the dress up a notch and make it more Yzma-ified. So today's plan is to pick up some black gloves, and I'm hoping to thrift a dress I can rework, but I might have to totally make a dress from scratch. Okay, so now it's time to go out and thrift. So I went to Goodwill, but they're closed on Mondays. I don't know why. So I'm taking this as a sign that I'm making this dress from scratch. Fun.
After picking up some fabric, I went home, put on Hocus Pocus, and had to reteach myself how to pattern draft because it has been a while since I have done any of this. So I pulled out my pattern drafting binder from college and went through that, and it actually came back pretty quickly. For the skirt, I kept it pretty simple, making a circle skirt. You take your waist measurement, divide that by 6.28, and then whatever measurement you get out of that, you measure that from the corner of your paper. Then once you have that smaller circle at your corner, you measure down at whatever length you want your skirt to be. In this case, I wanted it to be 30 inches long, so I measured 30 inches down all the way around to create a quarter circle. For the front piece, I folded the fabric in half and placed the pattern on that folded line and then cut out that piece. This makes it so that you don't get a seam at the center front. But then for the back pieces, I cut out 2 separate pieces because I wanted a seam at the center back so that I could put a zipper in. And after cutting out all these pieces, if I were to lay them out, it would make one giant circle, hence the name circle skirt. I then sewed up the side seams and sewed halfway up the back and popped this skirt onto my dress form Sheila. For the top of the dress, I used a dress I already had for a quick template. The dress I was going off of was out of stretch material, so I did have to adjust the pattern to work with the non-stretch fabric I was working with. So on the princess seam lines, I added 2 little curves. This makes it so that everything fits. Also, I did cut out 2 of each piece because I was making 2 bodices that I was going to sew together. After sewing up those 2 bodice pieces, I placed them on top of each other, wrong sides facing out, and sewed along the top to create a nice finished edge to the top of this dress. Next up was the straps. I kept the straps super simple. I didn't make a pattern for this at all. I cut out 2 pieces, 20 inches by 10, folded them in half, and then 10 inches up, I drew a line angling in to create a triangle piece so that when I flipped these inside out, it would come to a point. To attach these straps, I opened up the bodice at the top between the princess seam and the side seam, stuck the straps down in between those 2 pieces, and sewed it back up. Once the straps were sewn on, the dress was pretty much done. All I had to do was attach the bodice to the skirt, and then I put in a zipper and set the hem. And I was planning on hand sewing the hem, but by the time I got to the hem, I just couldn't be bothered, so I did a machine stitch. Okay, now let's get to my favorite part of this whole dress, the belt. Like the straps, I didn't follow a pattern for this belt and basically just went for it. I cut a 35 by 4 inch piece of fabric. I folded that in half, sewed at half an inch, and before I turned this right side out, I added some heat and bond to give this belt more structure. I made the belt 1.5 inches wide so that I could use this buckle, and the buckle was just for show. I ended up using hooks to hold the belt around my waist and also hold this big fan up. Speaking of the big fan, I cut an 18 by 10 inch piece, folded that in half, and sewed an L shape, leaving one side open so I could flip it inside out. And before flipping it, I added some heat and bond so that the piece would come out straight from the buckle. And then from the open end, I pleated that down to 1.5 inches so that it would match up with the width of the belt, and I sewed those 2 pieces together. And my machine definitely hated this with the bulky fabric and heat and bond, but I took this really slowly, but this was the final step in completing this dress and belt.
Welcome back to Miley's Design Corner. The dress is done. I got all the final pieces. Let's talk about hair and makeup. The only thing I know about Yzma's hair is that she has black hair with a little curl. I think something like this would look really nice because it's got that curl that comes down over the forehead like Yzma has. Only issue I'm dealing with is that my hair is a bit longer than how most women had it in the 50s. You know what? Hold on, I'll be right back. Now that we got that out of the way,
I plan on setting my hair using a classic 1950s setting pattern, letting that sit for a while before I go on to styling it. I also got a black temporary spray to match Yzma's color.
Okay, let's talk about makeup. Yzma definitely likes her makeup.
I think for eyeshadow, I'm thinking something like this, but instead of blue, I'll do a nice light purple to match Yzma's eyeshadow look. And she also likes her eyeliner, so I think a nice 50s cat wing will really fit a 1950s Yzma look. And then for lips, I'm going to do the same color Yzma has, but do it in a 1950s shape with a rounder upper lip, and maybe throw in a beauty mark.
Okay, it's now time to put this whole look together.
And this is the final look. To say I'm in love with this look, I think is an understatement. I'm so happy with how this turned out, and I'm more impressed that I pulled this off within 48 hours. I had so much fun doing this video. I don't care that Halloween is ending. I'm definitely making this a series on my channel. And next time I am hoping for 1970s Cruella DeVil. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so that you know when I post, and have a lovely, safe Halloween. Bye, guys!